Hi, I'm Mary Houlihan, the Director of Victim Services for the Commonwealth Attorney's Office in Lexington, and I'm here today with Denise Stevens. Denise is a crime victim that I've been working with for the past couple of years, and through that she's really become somebody that I'm so terribly impressed by. I can't even stand it. She is somebody that has come through a terrible experience and been strong and brave in the face of a lot of pressure from the case and from the defendant, who didn't stop with what he did to her, but he continued to harass her from jail. So I'm going to ask you a little bit about that, Denise. I guess it was back in November of 2010 that you thought was a regular day, and you were just what when this all happened?
Well, I had received my Social Security check, and so I went down to a cigarette store on Broadway, and I went in and cashed my check, and I came back out, and I guess he was waiting on me on the side of the building. And as soon as I put the key in the van door, he was on me.
Oh, how scary.
In my face. Just give me that backpack. I turned around and I shoved him like that, and I said, "Get away from me." And he said, "I'm going to say it one more time, give me the backpack." So I dropped it between my legs. I said, "If you want it," well, I said a cuss word. I said, "If you want it, go get it." So he reached down and got it, and then backed up, and I guess I kind of turned away to protect myself, you know, my chest area. And so he fired it, went in this leg and through this leg and into this one.
So he basically fired a shot at you after you had already given him your purse?
Yeah.
So for no reason?
No reason.
She didn't want to brag about herself, but I know some of the things that were worrying her as she healed up from this experience, physically healed up, I mean, was that she was already one of the big caretenders for her family. And so she had a sister with some medical needs that meant that Denise took care of her an awful lot of the time. So suddenly not only does she have to worry about herself, but who's going to care for her sister? And I think you told me that that really impacted your worries from the hospital. How long were you there?
I think I was at UK probably two and a half weeks, and then when I left UK, I was sent to Cardinal Hill, and I probably stayed there 8 to 10 days.
Well, and Denise doesn't even remember the first time I met her, because I think you had just gotten home and were still medicated and everything else, but I won't ever forget it, because one of the things that Denise had to go through with how severely her legs were injured was basically what looked like open wounds to me. And so I come around the corner to meet her the first time, and she's in bed with this leg that doesn't look like somebody should be alive that has it attached to them. And I remember, you know, we're in a professional role, you're not supposed to go, "Oh," but I inside was going, because it just looked so painful, and you had to have that open for a long time and packed 3 times a day with gauze, didn't you?
Yeah.
So that constant pain, constant reminder of what you went through, in addition to a lot of crime victims tell us how jumpy they become at every kind of noise and every kind of sound after some sort of trauma like this. And I know for Denise, for where she lives and for worrying about her sister, somebody coming to the door suddenly means something completely different. It takes you right back to what happened, doesn't it?
Sure does.
For our cases, it is often very positive to get a guilty plea. Those pleas can't be appealed later by the defendant, and in this case, this guy finally decided to give a plea. So he pled to 10 years for assault first, for what he did to Denise by shooting her through both legs, and 5 years for robbery in the second degree. And then he got another 2 years for bribing a witness. The judge, in hearing from Denise through her victim impact statement, determined that this was just not excusable by giving him any kind of time concurrently. The judge ordered all that time to be consecutive. So Anthony Dupree Jackson is looking at 17 years for making the decisions he made that day to shoot an unarmed woman who had already given him what he asked for. There was no need for what he did. This is just one more victim that it's important that we hear from, that the ride she took through the criminal justice system felt like a lot of re-victimization, didn't it?
Yeah.
Felt like I was calling you every other day with bad news. I don't know how you kept taking my calls, to be honest, but she did. And we've made it through it. She's a strong woman who'll go on and hopefully help others with her story, because she was brave enough to want to talk about it afterwards.